En junker ved juletid.
Ching chang ching til dig.
Omkring ham dannede sneen hvid.
Ching chang ching til dig.
Welcome to the Topic of the Episode show. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
And we're here, as we are every week, giving you the topic of the thing that we told you that we wanted to talk about, so we wanted you to tell us to talk about the things that you wanted us to talk about. This week's
Thanks
topic.
for making it succinct as always, Patrick.
Yeah.
So this week we're going to be talking about console launches and what specifically makes for a good console launch.
Exactly.
We have the Switch and we have your review up.
Yes.
Which you like it. And they chose to go a different way with this console generation launch. They chose to go fewer games and then kind of trickle them out over an extended period of time.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but I think that it's interesting when a console launches. There are certain things that have to gravitate people to buy it. There are certain crowds that are going to buy a new console no matter what, and there are certain people who need to be essentially sold on it.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I think that for a console to be successful, it needs to have, of course, killer app. You hear that everywhere. Okay, whatever. It's not all about the killer app.
And the PS4 is kind of the example of that because it sold tremendously without really having a killer app.
Yes.
And so that kind of feeds into what Chris White said in our comments. He said that there needs to be a game for everyone.
Yeah.
Because, like, Zelda appeals to most people. Resogun was the PS4 launch game that appealed to me. That game was wonderful.
Yeah.
But, like, there was a shooter game, there was a kids game, and there was a spaceship game.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then for the Nintendo Switch, they have Zelda.
Yep.
And it's the best Zelda ever.
And if you want to call that a killer app, you can call it a killer app. But I don't think that killer apps necessarily define console gaming anymore, or does necessarily define gaming. For someone to want to upgrade to the next console, or even upgrade their PCs, if you want to throw that in there, you need to have a game or an ecosystem that is a leap either in graphical fidelity or does something that you cannot do elsewhere.
Yeah.
The Xbox did this in a very great way. The Xbox One and the Xbox 360 as well, in the way that they handled media. Sony didn't use media and entertainment aside from gaming as their main focus.
Yeah.
So Sony was appealing to the core gamers, and Xbox went more with, we're going to do everything for you with this box. Two different ways of tackling this subject. And the Switch and the recent launch has not decided, we're going to be the best gaming system. It can't be fidelity-wise, but they said, we're going to make it flexible for you.
Yeah, and it brings something that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the key, is to give you something, whether it's an experience, whether it's a game, whether it's the versatility Xbox One brought, whether it's the portability that the Switch brought.
Yeah.
It needs to give you something that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And Nintendo Switch launches, it doesn't have Netflix and Hulu and what have you, and it's like, okay, I didn't need it for that.
I didn't.
It'll be nice when it comes out, but nobody's buying this to be that.
It'll be out definitely before the end of the year. I'm gonna guess before fall. I'm gonna guess it's gonna come sometime around the summer, because they said they've been working on it. They didn't think as many people would clamor for it at the beginning, because Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing half the time. But the console itself, to take it in dock mode and TV mode with a Pro controller, it's great. Zelda's running at 30 frames a second at 900p, and everyone goes, "That's disgusting and that's slow."
720.
900.
When it's docked.
When it's docked, it's 900. You know what else is 900p?
Xbox One, a lot of them.
Xbox One Mass Effect. So, yeah, if you want to trash one console versus another, there you go. Yeah, you can play it on PC, blah, 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 whatever. But I can take Zelda with me and play it anywhere, and that's really cool. I've brought around my Switch since I got it. I've brought it around. People in the office have played it, and to be able to bring it around like that, and I kind of went to multiple people's houses to show them the console when it came out, as a way to kind of get it in people's hands to say, hey, what do you think of this, and kind of enjoy this with me, because the console is a lot about that group experience. So I think that made Switch successful when it came to that, and this is the strongest Nintendo launch ever, so that says something.
So what makes you want to buy a console at launch? And for the record, I don't buy them at launch, because the first generation, you don't know if it's gonna work.
You don't.
Like after a certain point, there's a lot of history of like the Red Ring of Death and the PlayStation 2 consoles that wouldn't read discs after a while, and like it's a lot riskier to buy a Gen 1 console than it used to be.
Yeah, the disc drives that were failing in the PS3 and Xbox One has had a couple disc drive issues as well. You had the famous one of the Xbox 360 that would scratch all your discs. So yeah, there's all kinds of interesting things. I don't normally buy consoles on launch. I decided to in this case because I kind of wanted to be an early adopter. I wanted to be an ambassador because I thought Switch was going to be a very interesting and console, and I thought it appealed to me and Zelda, and I'm not regretting it. I'm loving it.
There you go. So tell us your stories and tell us how you would launch a console if you had a multi-million-dollar company that made gaming machine things. So that's what we got for this week. Catch us next week when we'll be talking about free-to-play.
Yes.
Does it work? Do they know things?
How do they make it work?
How does it work? When does it work? Why doesn't it work? And why don't you play them?
Yes. We'll see you guys later.